Dali and Lijiang are two of the most popular destinations in all of China. But what if I told you that on a short detour halfway between these two cities lies an ancient town that is more intimate, artistic, and far less commercialized? This is Shaxi. Tucked away in Jianchuan County, Shaxi Ancient Town is beloved by artists and craftsmen from all over China, yet still relatively unknown to international visitors. I can confidently say this town is a must-visit in Yunnan. Join us on our trip to this charming little gem. Continuing our trip in Dali Prefecture, we made it over to Shaxi. Shaxi was a very important stop on the Tea-Horse Road, which was a network of paths and caravans ranging from Sichuan to Yunnan to Tibet. Right now, we are in front of the Guxitai, the ancient theater stage on Sideng Street. This is the most iconic landmark in the entire ancient town. This stage was used for ethnic celebrations and performances, while the square around it was a spot for social gatherings. The stage structure itself is simply gorgeous. Just look at all these detailed patterns and colors that cover the entire structure.
"在这个戏台后面还有一个小的茶马古道马帮的陈列馆，这里还挺有意思的，有很多他们以前用的器具。茶碗、茶盒、茶壶，各种茶相关的器具。他们虽然在路途上很颠簸，但是在喝茶这件事上还是挺讲究的。
Today, this square is surrounded by many cafes, artist studios, and workshops. You can even attend some of these workshops yourself. Right now, Rika is going to go experience something that's very popular and a very traditional practice here in Yunnan, 扎染, tie-dye. If you go to any ancient city, any ancient town here in Yunnan, you'll see a lot of these blue blankets, t-shirts, and dresses. Those are all made from tie-dyeing. Rika is going to go tie-dye a dress. There's so many dresses to choose from. Rika is taking quite a long time to decide which one she wants.
看起来还挺有特点的，而且我没有这个款式的裙子，期待它染出来是什么样子。大中小的蝴蝶，挺唯美的哈，想象中很唯美，不知道实际情况是怎样。
The process is to clamp these wooden shapes tightly onto the dress. So when you dye it, the color wouldn't soak through that area, and it'll make an outline of the shape.
前面的已经夹完了，现在要开始夹后面的。理想情况就是这个裙摆有一圈的小蝴蝶。
This whole tie-dye process, when they first explained it to us, it seemed really simple. They said we can do it in 20 minutes. But after working on it, Rika has been here for almost 1 hour already, and she's still at the part where she's trying to put the little butterflies onto the dress. It really is a lot more complicated than it seems. And now it's finally time to dye the dress. Here in Yunnan, the blue dye is a natural color from a plant called banlangen. The dye is extracted through fermentation, and the fabric is dipped into the dye multiple times to give it different color intensities. So the first layer is the lightest, and she's going to give it 3 different shades of blue. The final step is to rinse off all the excess dye and remove the clamps. Once the fabric dries, the vibrant blue will stay.
"比我想象中快很多，我感觉10分钟不到好像就结束了。可能我染的方法也比较简单，我只想要一个渐变的效果，就一种蓝天白云的感觉啊。暂时看这个颜色还是挺满意的，不过好像晒干后它会稍微再褪色变浅一点点。若隐若现的小蝴蝶在我的裙摆这个位置。这个制作过程其实好像染的过程挺简单的，就是前面挑跟设计的过程，可能我自己花多了一点时间，还挺好玩的。
This is actually our 3rd day here in Shaxi already, but For the previous 2 days, we got a terrible stomach bug that's been going around Yunnan. And honestly, it's very uncomfortable. We literally just stayed in our hotel and didn't do anything at all. Now we're finally feeling better so we can get out of bed and explore Shaxi. So I guess this video won't have too much food tour elements, but luckily there's still so much to do around this area. Right across the old theater stage is the Xingjiao Temple. Built during the Ming Dynasty, this temple is over 600 years old. When you head inside, you'll enter a beautiful courtyard with these majestic old trees. With the leaves creating shade and patches of light on the ground, this temple is a tranquil escape from the busy town center. Some believe the theater stage was built across from the temple so that the gods can enjoy the performances along with the people. And now it's time to explore the alleyways and all the little shops in Shaxi. Unlike the white color scheme of Dali, Shaxi features a more wooden and earthy tone. These wooden buildings give the town a natural and grounded atmosphere. Flowers, plants, and trees can be found at every single corner, and a small stream flows gently alongside the street. Everywhere you go, you can hear the birds chirping and the wind rustling through the leaves. Even though this ancient town is vibrant and busy, walking through these streets still feels peaceful and relaxing. Around Shaxi, there's a lot of little artist workshop, arts and crafts stores, and just then we walked into one store. The owner is actually from Beijing. A couple years ago, she backpacked all the way to Yunnan, and then because COVID started, she got stuck here, and then she decided to open a store here in Shaxi and stayed here ever since because she just fell in love with this place. She really is quite a character. She does arts and crafts, she does painting, she does sewing. As you can see, one of the columns on the building, she put a knitted cover around it. It's really cute. And since Rika just recently started getting into knitting and sewing, they were exchanging ideas and having a short chat as well. It's a really interesting store, so when you're here in Shaxi, you gotta go check it out and support her business. Why does this dog look like he's about to cry? Aww. Around the outside of the old town, we reached the Xi part of Shaxi, the little river, the little stream. The leaves are starting to grow from the trees already. So look at this willow behind me, it's really beautiful, flowing in the wind. Here by the river stands the iconic Yujin Bridge, a historical landmark of the Tea-Horse Road legacy. Back in the day, this stone bridge served as the most crucial link connecting both sides of the Heihui River, enabling the passage of horses, traders, and caravans. Though it collapsed and was rebuilt many times through the centuries, it still remains a symbol of the region's trade history. The river here is actually really peaceful, and since the water is shallow right now, we can walk down here. And behind me, you can see that bridge form a perfect circle with the reflection. And the cutest thing is, there's so many ducks here. It's so funny when they dip their head under the water and stick their butt out. Ducks are such amazing little creatures.
想我，从不曾离开你的身旁。
The late afternoon is a great time to stroll along the riverbank and enjoy all the nature around Shaxi. Another popular time to photograph or visit the bridge is early in the morning during sunrise. So tomorrow morning, I'll show you what that's like.
本人去哪里都会购买的财神周边，但是这个甲马应该是云南本地的财神，闻起来还挺香的，有点木质的香调。
I think even just after being in Shaxi for one day, I can already confidently say this is my favorite ancient town in Yunnan. Yes, it is commercialized, but I think it's commercialized in a good way because every single store, it's not selling exactly the same thing. If you go to like Dali Ancient City or even Xingjiao, you'll find that the stores are selling more or less the same items, the same dishes. But here, the little different artist stores, artist workshops, they all have their own unique style. And unlike places like Dali Ancient City, you don't get those super loud speakers blasting in your ear. Here in Shaxi, the community feels very tight-knit. It feels peaceful. I think pre-COVID, Shaxi was a very unknown place. But then a Chinese TV show came here to shoot, and it completely blew up this town. Of course, this transformation might feel drastic for people who are living here, for the local people here, but at least for someone who's just visiting for the very first time, the vibe, the atmosphere still feels elegant and tranquil.
差点忘了今天最后一件重要的事情，我要去取我的小裙子。晒干后的一个成果，这个蓝色确实比我们刚刚还湿的时候要浅很多，它还泛出了一点青绿色。 差不多是我想象中的样子。如果这边的过渡更自然一点，当然就更好了。
Since our stomachs are still recovering, we're not 100% yet, we can't have the most spicy or super salty Bai dishes that's very famous here. So instead, we got some more vegetarian dishes. But we still managed to order one of their specialty dishes. This one's got 树花炒蛋. I honestly have no idea what 树花 means. Literally, it means tree flower. This little plant, you can eat it in a stir fry, you can eat it in a cold dish. It really looks quite strange. It looks like some roots, but apparently it's like some sort of moss. I think that's the sort of family it's in. Let's try it. It has a natural saltiness to it. It's a little bit chewy, a little bit crunchy. I feel like the thing that it reminds me of the most in terms of texture is jellyfish. And it's also a little bit salty, like the seawaterness of the jellyfish. I don't know, it's really hard to describe, but it's not bad. And mixed with the soft egg, it's a great combination actually. Just like everywhere we go in Yunnan, we're once again here to see the sunrise, to try and avoid the crowd. We're gonna go up to that bridge, but before then we're here at this field. It looks like it's harvested already. Otherwise this place will also be so green like the place we saw in Xingjiao. This field is completely barren. I think it used to have lots of canola flowers on here. But it's okay. This is not the reason why we came to Shaxi. Let's go over to check out the bridge. Every morning here in the ancient town, there's this small street food breakfast street. They have all sorts of things from 米线, ersi, the typical Yunnan food, but we've had that too many times already. So I got some wontons, some dry mixed wontons. It actually looks pretty good. It smells really good from that sesame oil. Other than tie-dyeing, another common workshop you'll find in Dali and Shaxi is for jiama woodblock prints. Jiama is a religious paper that the Bai people use to communicate with the gods. Traditionally, the artwork is printed onto paper with carved out wooden blocks like these. Each store has its own unique jiama designs. Even though we didn't take this workshop on our trip, we still got some more contemporary jiama style stamps, so we can take a bit of that luck with us on our trip.
我们拐进了这一片全都是这种小摊位的街道，发现一个档主都没有，这里全部都是自助扫码付费。当然他们应该还是安装了一些监控，但是也不得不感慨这里的人实在是过于的 chill 了。所有的铺面就这样对着大家开放，然后你可以尽情的挑选你想要的东西。
It's actually getting really cold here in Yunnan, so after watching the sunrise and strolling the old town for a little bit, we're here to have lunch. We're gonna have some mushroom hot pot to warm ourselves up a bit, warm up our stomachs. Mushroom hot pot is always such a great thing to have in Yunnan. The wild mushrooms here in Yunnan are world famous, and mix that with a chicken broth, it really is heavenly. Now we have to wait for this to boil until the sand timer runs out, and then it's safe to eat. We're gonna add some potatoes into the broth to make it cook a little bit longer. The timer has finished. I'm not sure how long it is, maybe like 15 or 20 minutes. Okay, try some of this mushroom chicken hot pot. This makes me so happy. The chicken broth with that rich, earthy mushroom taste, it's just so good. I feel like Rika found a new obsession. She wants to do another tie-dye, but this time not a dress. She wants to tie-dye one of these little headbands. Here in Yunnan, the most traditional tie-dye color is blue, but now she wants to go do a tie-dye that's a different color. She wants to do a green one. You can tie-dye into different colors, they're just less common.
黄一般是什么植物呢？栀子花。
它变红绿色的话，就可以再泡一下黄色。
Cafe 比刚刚深一点，那也挺好看的，有一种菠菜的感觉。可以吗？可以，看到一个植物的纹路一样的感觉。虽然扭的方式很简单，但是这个纹路我觉得还挺有意思的。
It actually took us quite a while to find a nice cafe here in Shaxi, even though there's so many of them. I guess maybe our standards are a little bit too high. But in the end, we were wandering around a little bit outside of the old town, and we found this tree house looking cafe. As you can see, we're surrounded by trees, surrounded by nature. I love the atmosphere and decor of this place. We ordered 2 teas since we cannot drink coffee right now. I got a date and longan tea and Rika got a lemon tea. Cheers. Tastes really healthy. Before coming here, I thought Shaxi was going to be a place that's similar to the other ancient towns in China, similar to Dali Ancient Town, similar to Xizhou, similar to Shuhe. But this old town completely blew my expectations away. We had such a wonderful time here. I mean, obviously for the first 2 days, we were really sick and we couldn't do anything at all. But everything else we got to experience here made up for those 2 sick days. If you come to Yunnan, a typical itinerary definitely includes Dali and Lijiang. So if you're going to go from Dali to Lijiang or vice versa, you gotta stop in Shaxi because Shaxi is literally in the midpoint of those 2 cities. It's really easy to get to by bus or by car. So we're going to spend the rest of the day chilling at this cafe, chilling in Shaxi, enjoying this perfect weather. If you're loving this video and this entire China travel series, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to JH Media if you haven't done so already for more China travel videos coming soon. Thank you guys so much for watching and see you guys next time. Bye bye.